Welcome to the stream. Let me know your questions ahead of game week 9. I actually have a decision to make ahead of the deadline myself. I have Fabian Schär in my team at the moment, but I need to transfer him out. Let's see. So the deadline is 1 hour and 34 minutes away. I have one free transfer. I will most probably use it. At the moment, I'm actually leaning towards De Ligt, the Man United centre back. I've had Diouf, the West Ham defender, on my watch list for a couple of weeks, but I'm not really that tempted after watching the West Ham against Brentford game. I can potentially go for someone like Reece James, but this would mean that I'm tripled up on Chelsea and I won't be able to bring in Enzo Fernandez. So this is one of the reasons why I'm leaning towards someone else. I know that Michael Keane is a really popular asset ahead of this game week, but I have Kudus. I will start Kudus and Pedro Porro, so I don't really want to have Michael Keane in my team at the moment. I want to take out Van de Ven and put James or a Man United defender in. Not sure who. I think at the moment, while Reece James is fit, I think that he is the best Chelsea defender to own at the moment. So Reece James, he will be my preferred Chelsea asset. But if you already have two Chelsea assets, I would probably go for a Man United defender. De Ligt would probably be my preferred option at the moment. The thing is that De Ligt is actually top 10 for expected goal involvement. He hasn't gotten any attacking returns so far, but he's actually one of the underachievers when it comes to expected goal involvement. He's nailed on, played 90 minutes. He's actually picked up defensive contribution points 2 times, and he has finished on 9 DEFCONs on 4 occasions. So I think that De Ligt should be decent. My only worry, of course, is that Man United, are they really reliable? I think they have looked a bit better after new goalkeeper Lemons arrived, but I'm not really sure, to be honest. Benji Kirk, which two would you start this game week? Diouf, Dewsbury Hall, Guhi, and Reinders. I would probably go... I think it's between your 3 attacking assets, Dewsbury Hall, Guhi, and Reinders. Guhi, he will potentially start. It's 50-50. He's in some of the predicted starting 11s for Chelsea. So I think that game week 9, it's probably a good game week to start Guhi. I would potentially just go Reinders because he will start for Man City. So Guhi, Reinders, and bench. Dewsbury Hall, first bench. Diouf, second. Sounds like you have a really strong team, Benchy Kirk. I'm not sure if you have played your bench boost, but with those players on the bench, you can potentially play your bench boost soon. Which team are you supporting? Where's your bias? I'm actually supporting Man United, but I don't really think that this affects my FPL decisions, to be honest. I haven't really owned any Man United players so far this season other than Mbumo. It's not like I'm putting Man United players into my team because I support them. So the reason why I will probably go Fabian Schär to De Ligt is solely because of the fact that he's been really close to pick up Defcons earlier and is one of the defenders with the highest expected goal involvement. The fixtures really good for Man United as well. He is a big differential, only selected by 2.5% of the managers. So this is one of the reasons why I might actually go for De Ligt this game week. I think Reece James is probably the better option. My only worry with bringing in Reece James this game week is the fact that I will not be able to bring in Enzo Fernandez. Benny G, hey, thanks for joining in. Why Captain Gyökeres from John? Good question. The thing is that I really think that game week 9 is a good game week to take a captain punt. So I'm leaning towards going against Holland. So I've had a look at all of my other candidates. So I started this game week with Mbuma as my captain, switched to Holland. Yesterday on my live Q&A, I actually got talked into switching to Gyökeres, but I said yesterday as well, it will probably not be Gyökeres. So it's actually 60-40 advantage Holland at the moment. I will probably switch it back. Don't really trust Gyökeres. I know he scored 2 goals in the Champions League, but he hasn't really looked great in the last Premier League games. So Neil Chisman, good luck this game week. Likewise, hopefully game week 9 will give us another green arrow. Sorry about that. I think it was you that talked me into switching the captaincy to Gyökeres. I said yesterday as well, it's not locked in, so I might potentially just change it back to Erling Haaland. I'm not feeling 100% confident in Gyökeres captaincy, to be honest. Is Gabriel injured? Gabriel is injured, but will he start in game week 9? It's not confirmed. The game is 2 days away. My guess is that Gabriel most probably will start against Crystal Palace. FP Lisa, hi. Thanks for joining in once again. Neil Cheeseman, what will you do with Fabian Schär? I might actually bring in De Ligt. Let's have a look. I can bring in any defender up to 6 million. So I have 6 million for a new defender after selling De Ligt. Can't afford Gabriel, of course. So it's actually between Reece James or De Ligt. Let's see how that looks. So At the moment, I have Fabian Schär in my team. Yeah, I don't think he will start. He's not in the predicted starting 11 for Newcastle, so I might use my last transfer on selling Fabian Schär. I only have one free transfer, 0.6 in the bank, so I can bring in a replacement up to 6 million. At the moment, I'm actually leaning towards doubling up on Man United. De Ligt, he is a 90 minutes man. He has been really close to picking up DEFCON points. He might actually be a really good asset. Let's take a look at his stats. Full profile. So we take a look at this one, the DC defensive contributions. So against Liverpool, wasn't that great, only 5 defensive contributions, but he was a bit unlucky against Sunderland, only 9 defensive contributions, so no extra points. 10 against Brentford, 9 against Chelsea, 9 against Man City, 11 against Fulham, 10 against Arsenal. So if we don't consider game week 3 against Burnley and game week 8 against Liverpool, he has actually been really close to pick up defensive contribution in every game. So I think that if he had gotten a couple of more defensive contribution points, I think he would have been a bit more popular. We've seen this happen with players like Anderson, Senesi, but because of the fact that he has picked up 9 defensive contribution points, 9 defcons in 3 games, I think that De Ligt has gone a bit under the radar. He has actually the highest expected goal involvement. Is I think that he potentially might be my Fabian Schär replacement. So let's see how that looks. So if you're interested in having your team reviewed, just head over to X, post a picture of your team under my latest post. I brought Reece James this game week. I'm sorry. I talked about Reece James 10 minutes ago. I think that he probably is the better option compared to De Ligt as well. So I'm tempted by Reece James. I might still go for Reece James as my Fabian Schär replacement, but the thing is that I already have Sanchez, I already have Joe Pedro, so if I were to bring in Reece James, I would be tripled up on Chelsea. This would mean that I will not be able to bring in Enzo Fernandez, so I would like to have the possibility to bring in Enzo. I think he's one of the best midfielders to own at the moment. So can't really fit him in. Don't really have enough transfers to bring in Enzo Fernandez this game week. So this is one of the reasons why I'm considering to bring in De Ligt instead. Any strategy for the chips for the rest of the season? With the fixture list in mind. So it looks really unlikely that we will have a double game week before Christmas. I think that if you still have your bench boost, if you have a game week where you have 15 starters, I think you should just play your bench boost, to be honest. I think game week 9 probably is a really good game week to play your bench boost if you have Dubravka in goal as well. Decent fixture for Burnley playing against Wolves, so I think game week 9 is a good game week for the bench boost. When it comes to playing the free hit chip, I think game week 15 looks like a really good game week. Let's have a look at those pictures real quick. Oops. So these are the fixtures in game week 15. Some of the most interesting FPL options have really good fixtures in game week 15. So Man United playing away against Wolves. We have Liverpool against Leeds, Spurs at home against Brentford, Newcastle at home against Burnley, and Man City at home against Sunderland as well. So using the free hit in game week 15, having a cheap bench with starters from the mentioned teams might be a really good idea. There will potentially be some rotation around game week 15 as well. It's the start of December. We know that this will be a really hectic period, so we can potentially see, when we take a look at the European games, Carabao Cup, stuff like that, that we might see a pattern and guess who will start the game in game week 15. Charlie Lindstrom, I've sent my team through. Let's have a look. Okay, here we go. Raya in goal against Crystal Palace, double up with Timber Dunburn in defense. I wish I had a starting Newcastle defender this game week. I picked Fabian Schär on my game week 3 wildcard. Hasn't really turned out the way I was hoping. Senesi against Nottingham Forest. Still Salah in this team. Salah captain, Brentford away. Semenyo, Bruno Fernandes, Kudus, and up front Jared Bowen, Joe Pedro, and Mateta. No Erling Haaland. Munoz on the bench. I think it makes sense benching Crystal Palace defenders this game week. I know that Munoz is really threatening going forward, but against Arsenal, I think he might potentially struggle. Mateta can, of course, do something, even though the fixture is tough. His own penalties is nailed down. He will play close to 90 minutes. King against Newcastle and Rodon against West Ham. One free transfer. So with this team, I think this team is good to go. Rodon on the bench makes sense, seeing that you have Jared Bowen up front. You have a Newcastle defender, so King on the bench as well. I think this team looks really strong. I think that if Mo Salah blanks against Brentford in game week 9, my advice would be to consider selling Mo Salah, probably for Bukayo Saka ahead of game week 10. Really good fixture for Arsenal in game week 10, playing against Burnley. So I like the captain punt. Mo Salah, Brentford away. Even though Brentford, they actually looked pretty decent against West Ham, but then again, it was against West Ham. So Liverpool, they might do well against Brentford in game week 9. Mo Salah captain. I actually like that one. And as mentioned, if Mo Salah blanks against them, I think he's definitely one to sell. Jonathan, risky with Salah. Imagine if Jesus starts over him. So I read some rumors about Mo Salah not being happy at Liverpool at the moment. Something about his Instagram posts, that he deleted some of his Liverpool posts, but haven't really looked that much into it, and I expect Mo Salah to start in game week 9. Edwix, hey, thanks for joining in. Edwix, are you ready for game week 9? It's 1 hour 15 minutes left until the deadline. I need to make a transfer. I actually need to make a decision on the captaincy as well. Let's see. I will probably change this back to Erling Haaland. So at the moment, Haaland is back to being my game week 9 captain. Don't really trust Gyökeres. Thing is that Mbumo was my game week at the start of the week, but I've had a look at the Brighton stats, and they have actually been quite solid defensively, and this is why I'm not that tempted by Mbumo. Joe Pedro against Sunderland. He will potentially play number 10, and this would possibly be a really good thing for Joe Pedro, but he has blanked in so many game weeks. I think that it's a big risk giving the captain's armband to Joao Pedro. Would you do Guardiola to James or Van de Ven? Would you do Guardiola to James or Van de Ven and a 4 million defender to James and a Man United defender for a -4? I really want James, or I wait for next week. Would probably avoid the hit, to be honest. Don't really see any reason for taking a -4. Guardiola to James is probably just fine. But which other Chelsea assets do you have at the moment? I'm really tempted by Reece James myself, to be honest, but I said this a couple of times, but one of the reasons why I'm a bit reluctant to bring in Reece James is the fact that I already have 2 Chelsea players. I have Sanchez in goal, I have Joao Pedro up front, so if I were to bring in Reece James, I would be tripled up, and I will not be able to bring in Enzo Fernandez. Edwix, I've sent my team. Let's have a look. Edwix, really good game week, 83 points, solid green arrow, overall rank 12,000, close to 10, top 10k. Haaland captain, bit unlucky of course. Watkins up front, Bruno Fernandes 8 points. Mbumo, the Man United double up, worked out in game week 8. Rodgers with his first goal of the season, and Saka. No goals for Saka, but he got defensive contribution points in game week 8. Let's see, you have Mukiele as well, 17 points, so lovely game week with a really good rank as well. 83 points, top 12k. So well done in game week 8. Let's see how your team looks ahead of this game week. So a double up on Bournemouth with both Petrovic and Senesi. Trippier, I really like Trippier, to be honest. This is not a free hit team. You have actually made a transfer and decided to bring in Trippier this game week. I really like it. Thing is that with players like Trippier and Reece James, when they are fit, they are really good FPL options. I'm talking about this in my wildcard video, free hit video this game week as well. Trippier, Reece James, solid options. Mukiele giving him another chance. I'm not really sure about this, to be honest. Starting Mukiele, you have a double up on Chelsea, so maybe, or definitely, if I had those players, I would bench Mukiele. Joe Pedro captain, Mark Guehi. You are top 12k, so you're doing something right at the moment, but I don't have any other options. Anderson, he will not play, so yeah. I think this is probably good to go. Avoid taking hits. Maybe the best is just to hope for a Mukiele attacking return. So the thing is that you don't really want Mukiele to keep a clean sheet, seeing that you have both Mark Guehi and Joao Pedro in your team. But hopefully both Chelsea and Sunderland can score, and Mukiele will be involved with an attacking return. So I like the Joao Pedro captain punt. I think, as mentioned, that game week 9 is a really, really good game week to go against Erling Haaland. I started this stream with Gyökeres as my captain. At the moment, I changed it back to Erling Haaland, but I'm really, really tempted. I might still change my captain. 3 points is good enough. I mean, yeah, I think that 3 points is probably what he will get. He might pick up defensive contributions. He will probably concede 2 or 3 goals. So 2 points for playing 60 minutes. Losing one of those points because of conceded goals, and he will get an extra 2 because of defensive contributions. Haaland is just terrible against Villa. We were actually discussing this yesterday on my Q&A as well, that Erling Haaland. Is this a good game week to captain Erling Haaland? I'm not really sure, to be honest. Let's have a look at the captain poll. Erling Haaland, he's on top. 67% have voted for Erling Haaland. Saka, 11. Semenyo, 22. So Erling Haaland is definitely the captain favorite in the poll so far. At captain Phil Foden, but Joao Pedro is fully rested and will play 90. Yeah, this is what I really like about Joao Pedro this game week. Did not play in the Champions League because of his red card. My only worry is that let's see, I will put it up on the screen. Give me a minute. I'm actually a bit worried because of Sunderland's defensive stats. So I always make those graphics ahead of my team selection and use them in my team selection video. So take a look at some of the most interesting captain options, and I take a look at their opponent's defensive stats. So for the last 4 game weeks, Sunderland, they have actually been pretty solid. They have kept 2 clean sheets, only conceded 3 goals, only 4 big chances conceded, and this is actually the best in the league. 17 shots on target. They have an expected goal of 5.13. Edwick's Sunderland are bad away. I think probably a bit worse playing away compared to at home. They have kept a clean sheet away as well, haven't they? So when we take a look at expected goals conceded, it's 5.13. So they have probably been a bit lucky only conceding 3 goals, but still the Sunderland defense, they are pretty solid. This is one of the things that makes it tempting to just play safe and go Erling Haaland as my captain, but as mentioned, not locked in. Jonathan need to make a transfer in midfield, Caicedo or Enzo, which would be a better pick. Definitely, I do agree with Edwick's Enzo Fernandez 10 out of 10 times if it's between Enzo Fernandez and Caicedo. So Enzo Fernandez is on set pieces, corner, free kicks. He's actually on penalties now with Cole Palmer injured. So as mentioned, I would pick Enzo Fernandez 10 out of 10 times. Enzo Fernandez is not in my team, but he is actually one of the reasons why I'm not tempted to bring in Reece James. I already have 2 Chelsea players, and I want to keep a Chelsea spot for Enzo Fernandez. My defender options are Timber, Guardiola, Richards, Van de Ven, and Alderete. He's injured, right? Timber, Guardiola, Richards, Van de Ven. I think that probably selling Guardiola to bring in Reece James, and this would give you Timber, Reece James, Van de Ven with Richards and Alderete on the bench. I think this would set you up nicely for the upcoming game weeks. I think that if you decide to bring in Reece James, I definitely think that he is a really good option at the moment. The thing is that, of course, we know that he is really injury prone and might get injured, but at the moment he's fully fit. He might actually play in midfield as well. So Reece James, really good transfer in. So I'd say go for the Guardiola to Reece James move if you really want to. So this was Edwick's team selection. Really solid team and a really, really good start to the season. Ranked 12,000, was it? Top 12k. Really, really good start to the season. I was ranked 868 and Semenyo killed me. Semenyo, he has been killing me for some game weeks. Actually don't have Semenyo yet. I talked about Semenyo yesterday as well. Why don't you just bring in Semenyo? I think that I have a feeling that Semenyo at some point will revert back to his old means and stop scoring FPL points at the same rate as he has done so far this season. So Semenyo, of course, a really good FPL option at the moment. If you have him, don't sell him. But I will not transfer Semenyo in this game week. Leeds against West Ham, who will win? I'm actually hoping for a good performance from West Ham. I had a live watch long on Monday for the West Ham against Brentford game. This was a terrible watch, to be honest. Live stream was decent, good enough, but the football match was horrible as a Paqueta owner. So I'm really hoping that Paqueta can do something against Leeds. I could potentially play Rodon this game week, but I will keep him on my bench and trust Paqueta one more time. Esa Parker, would do Joao Pedro to Mateta and Reinders to Enzo, Gordon to Sar for a -8 on bench boost, or just roll? Okay, so it's Pedro to Mateta, Reinders to Enzo, Gordon to Sar. I would definitely not do those moves this game week, at least. Maybe next week. I think Joao Pedro is a better asset compared to Mateta for game week 9. Really tough fixture for Crystal Palace playing away against Arsenal. So Joao Pedro to Mateta can wait. Reinders to Enzo is probably the only move I would make this game week. Sar, same as with Mateta, really tough fixture. I think that I would prefer having Anthony Gordon this game week. Reinders to Enzo, yes. Joao Pedro and Gordon to Sar and Mateta next game week. What about getting Dan Burn for Fabian Schär? I have actually thought about this as well. I think that it's a bit sideways, and Dan Burn, his ownership has gone up a fair bit as well. But of course, it would give me a starter from Newcastle. They still have really good fixtures. FPL Lisa, Fabian Schär to Dan Burn. Let's see. Fixtures are still good for Newcastle. They play at home against Fulham and they have West Ham away. Brentford, Man City, Everton. So if I decide to bring in Dan Burn, I would have Paqueta playing against Dan Burn in game week 10. I had a look at another option, a big differential. Might actually just do this move, to be honest. Let's see. Oh. This is probably a big surprise. I haven't really seen much talk about the Ligt. He's only selected by 2.8% of the managers. He has done really well when you consider DEFCON. He has picked up defensive contribution points 2 times so far this season, and he has actually ended on 9 defensive contributions at 3 different occasions, so he could have had more points compared to what he's actually sitting at the moment. But let's have a look at Man United fixtures. They play against Brighton in game week 9, then they have Nottingham Forest. Spurs away, probably not the best fixtures. I will have Kudus in this one as well. Then they play Everton, Crystal Palace, West Ham, Wolves away in game week 15, Bournemouth. So I'm actually quite tempted to take a punt and bring in De Ligt, to be honest. Let's see, Jonathan. Any insights on the Aston Villa defensive stats, considering Haaland captaincy? Yeah, let me just check real quick. I have made the graphics, but I just need to upload it. Give me a minute. So this is actually one of the reasons why I think game week 9 is a really good game week to go against Erling Haaland. When we take a look at Aston Villa's defensive stats. There we go. So these are the defensive stats from the last 4 game weeks. So Aston Villa, they haven't kept any clean sheets. My apologies, it only says last game week, but this is from the last 4 game week. This is an error on my side, so this is taken from the last 4 game weeks. So last 4 game weeks, they haven't kept any clean sheets. They have only conceded 4 goals, 5 big chances, 12 shots on target. They have an expected goal conceded of 3.11. So Aston Villa, they are actually one of the best defensive teams in the last 4 game weeks. Of course, they haven't played against Man City yet. I think at the moment there are no bad fixtures for Man City and especially Erling Haaland, so I wouldn't put too much into those stats, but then again, it's at home for Aston Villa. It can potentially be a tough game for Man City. So I definitely think that if you have Bukayo Saka or Semenyo, they would probably be my game week 9 captain. In the poll, Erling Haaland, he is the favorite, selected by 69%, 15 for Bukayo Saka, 15 for Semenyo as well, while no one has voted for someone else. So Haaland, he is the favorite. He will most definitely be the most captain player in game week 9 as well. And he is the safest captain option. Watch Gyökeres hit a hat-trick and Haaland red-carded. These are the stats. This is one of the reasons why I'm tempted by Gyökeres. I'm still a bit tempted. I started this stream with Gyökeres as my captain, changed it back to Erling Haaland. I'm a bit tempted by Joao Pedro as well, after looking at Edwig's team. And he will take a punt on Joao Pedro. So Crystal Palace, they are a bit overrated defensively. They haven't kept any clean sheets, conceded 7 goals, 14 big chances, 19 shots on target, and they have an expected goal of 6.86. So at home, playing against Crystal Palace, I think this is a really good fixture for Gyökeres. I might actually just lock this transfer in. So I had a live Q&A yesterday and started taking a look at the best options for my team after the stream, and the player that I landed on is actually De Ligt after taking a look at attacking stats and defensive contributions. Of course, together with the good fixtures for Man United, the fact that he has played 90 minutes every game week, De Ligt will probably be my Fabian Schär replacement. It's 49 minutes left until the deadline. If you're interested in having your team reviewed, head over to X and post a picture of your team. Let's see if there are any other teams posted. As mentioned, if you're interested, head over to X, find this post about the Game Week 9 deadline stream and post a picture. At the moment, I'm really tempted by De Ligt. I still think Reece James is the better option, but I don't want to lock myself out of getting Enzo Fernandez in. So this is the reason why I don't really want a Chelsea defender ahead of Game Week 9. So who will be watching the game later this evening? And what are your predictions? Leeds against West Ham. I have a feeling that Leeds will put up a solid performance, but I really want West Ham to do well in this fixture. Your take on Welbeck looks like solid value for money. I totally agree. He's probably on penalties for Brighton as well. I actually talked about Welbeck in my... not sure if it was the team selection video or the wildcard video, at least one of them. I'm talking a bit about Welbeck and the fixtures and his underlying stats. The only worry with Welbeck, of course, is that he might get rested, especially now that we're heading into a hectic schedule. They will play several games twice a week sometimes. I don't really see Danny Welbeck playing 90 minutes twice a week, but of course, when he plays, he is usually really effective. So at that price, Danny Welbeck, a really good option in my opinion. Things that there are some good options from Brighton, but most of the interesting midfielders, they are injured at the moment, like Mitoma, Minte, all those kind of players. So Danny Welbeck definitely, if you want to chase those good fixtures from Brighton, Danny Welbeck is definitely a really good option. My only other worry with Danny Welbeck is that he takes up a precious forward spot. I think that there are some really good forwards the moment, especially from game week 10. I think Mateta should be a priority. Not a good fixture for Crystal Palace and Mateta in game week 9, but from game week 10 and onwards, Mateta should be considered. Let's see. Leeds 4-0. Ooh. Can't really see Leeds scoring 4 goals, but well, they have Calvert-Lewin. If he can find some goal scoring form all of a sudden, might potentially be possible. Just having a quick look over on X. Leeds 4-0. It would actually be a really interesting result. I'm not sure what would happen with Nuno Espirito Santos. Would the same happen that happened to Ange Postecoglou? Hey man, would you play Dubravka or Vicario and also Achampong or another 4 million defender? I think that the fixture is really good for Burnley, so it's perfectly fine to start Dubravka this game week. I think Dubravka actually is a better option compared to Vicario. I haven't even considered Vicario because I have NGI in my team, so of course I don't want my midfielders and forwards to play against my goalkeeper and defenders, but I think that Dubravka actually should start. Champong, are you considering to transfer him in ahead of game week 9? I think there are better options at the moment. I think the Sunderland 4.0 defenders and both Gudmundsson, Rodon from Leeds as well probably are better options. I wouldn't use Chelsea's spot on a 4.0 million defender at this point. So they have so many good options. They have really good fixtures going forward. But at least take a punt on Dubravka. Dubravka, he actually saved my game week 8 bench boost. 9 points from Dubravka. I had 4 points from NGI, so 13 points, and a really disappointing performance from my Spurs defenders, the Fan and Pedro Porro. Yes, Bugard out and either Achampong or another 4 million defender. I already have Michele, I have Caicedo and Joao Pedro already for Chelsea too. I would definitely avoid Achampong if you have Caicedo and Joao Pedro. I think that Enzo Fernandez could become close to essential if he scores a brace in game week 9. At least that's my thinking this game week. I only have one free transfer, I have some problems in defense, so my transfer will probably be a defensive transfer. I have Fabian Schär, he will not start for Newcastle. So I will use a transfer in defense. I will change. I will sell Fabian Schär. My only worry with bringing in Reece James is the fact I'm in the same situation. I will avoid tripling up on Chelsea. And one of the reasons is, as mentioned, that I would be able to bring in Enzo Fernandez. Yeah, I started the Berka game week 82, scored 82 points total without using the bench boost. 82 is a really good score, but if it's without the bench boost as well, then it's really, really good. "38 minutes until the deadline." I think I will just sell Fabian Schär and bring in Delict. Yeah, no bench boost. I played Haaland as my captain. You had Mateta as well and Mukiele. Really good game week. Mateta, a trick. Mukiele, 17, or is it 18? 17, 18 points from Mukiele. And 9 points from Dubravka. Really solid game week. So well done. What's your rank at the moment? My rank is 3.9. Started with the worst possible start, so a 9 million rank after game week 1, but picked up some green arrows and it's 3.9 at the moment. So make sure to give the stream a like if you haven't done so already. I heard that this makes it easier for other people to find the stream as well, so if you would consider giving the stream a like, that would be really, really appreciated. And of course, if you haven't subscribed already, that would be great too. I always post team selection videos ahead of every game week with captain selection, team selection, and an updated watch list. I always do a Q&A the day before the deadline, so it's usually on a Friday, but of course, since game week 9 has a Friday deadline, I had my Q&A yesterday and the deadline stream, of course, on the actual deadline. So usually a Friday Q&A, but it got moved one day ahead this game week. Current rank is 2.5 million. Had a really bad first 4 or 5 game weeks. Yeah, kind of similar to me, but I actually had a nightmare game week 1. Erling Haaland, he is the favorite 75% is only getting that number is only getting higher. 75% Haaland, 12 for Saka, 12 for Semenyo. I'm really close to selling Fabian Schär and bringing in De Ligt for my FPL team. I have 6 million for a replacement. So Fabian Schär is priced at 5.4. I have 0.6 in the bank, so I can potentially find a replacement up to 6 million. Kukureya, Reece James. I don't really think they are options for me. I will avoid tripling up on Chelsea. I will keep a Chelsea spot open for Enzo Fernandez. I could potentially go Diouf. He has good attacking stats. Decent fixtures as well for West Ham, and I will have 2 players to watch in the game earlier this evening, but please talk me out of bringing in a Man United defender. I had a look at the stats, both for Man United as a team and their defense. They aren't actually that bad. Crystal Palace, much, much worse, and people are not really reluctant about bringing in Crystal Palace defenders, especially for the last 4 game weeks. Crystal Palace, they are actually one of the worst teams. West Ham are winning a penalty tonight, surely. That would be great as a Paqueta owner. I had a live watch-along Monday night. Not sure if you watched the West Ham against Brentford game, but this was a horrible watch. If you supported West Ham, they didn't really look threatening at all going forward. In Brentford, they were by far the better team. Should have actually won that game 4-5-0. So really frustrating watch as Paqueta owner on Monday. Hopefully it will be a different story this evening. I have really high hopes for Paqueta. I actually brought him in ahead of game week 8. I sold Rodgers to bring in Paqueta. Of course, game week 8 was the game week where Rodgers got his first goal this season. That's really typical FPL, but hopefully Paqueta can do something this game week. So I was like saying this on Monday as well on the live watch long. Paqueta, he will have to get a penalty to do something in this game, but unfortunately West Ham, they did not get any penalties against Brentford. We're getting close to the 30 minutes mark. I have Fabian Schär in my team. At the moment, De Ligt is my preferred replacement. I know Reece James. I have had a lot of people over on X saying that Reece James is the sensible move, but I'm actually a bit reluctant to bring in Reece James. This would mean that I'm tripled up on Chelsea, and I will not be able to bring in Enzo Fernandez. I might do something like Fabian Schär to De Ligt and possibly move Pedro Porro to Munoz next game week. That's an option. Thirty minutes left. I will just do the Ligt move. I know it's a big risk transferring in a Man United defender, but he's one of the defenders with the best attacking stats. He's one of the defenders that has contributed with most defensive contributions, and at 3 different occasions De Ligt he has gotten 9 def guns, so he has been a bit unlucky. So hopefully De Ligt will start delivering going forward. So let's just confirm this move. Make transfer. Out Fabian Schär, in De Ligt. Hopefully Fabian Schär will continue being benched for Newcastle. It will be really, really annoying if Fabian Schär all of a sudden started for Newcastle again, but he picked up a concussion ahead of game week 4. He was out for 2 game weeks. He was in the squad for game week 7 and game week 8, but did not get any minutes. I think is out of favor at the moment. Set my team on your post. Team called X-Jackerish. Love the team name, by the way. Let's have a look. Just need to refresh the browser. X-Jackerish. I have gone back to Erling Haaland. 29 minutes left. Erling Haaland, he is currently my captain. At least I have actually made my transfer this game week. I've sold Fabian Schär and I have actually bought a Man United defender. So let's see how this works out. There we go. This is probably as good as it gets. Let's see if I can. I think this actually is better. It's not the best quality, but at least we can fit the whole team into the screen. Like that. The Infernal Avenger starts Cells or Dubravka. Currently starting Dubravka. I think Dubravka is a really good option this game week, so I'm really close to start Dubravka myself, but I actually think that Sanchez at home against Sunderland probably is even better option, but Dubravka, yes, go for him this game week ahead of Cells. So this is Jonathan's team. Let's see if I can get the bench in as well. Raya in goal, Gabriel. Hopefully for you, Gabriel will start. You have Munoz against Arsenal. Pedro Porro, Enzo Fernandez in midfield. Soboslai, Semenyo, Kyrgios up front. The captain, Gyökeres from this ex-Gyökeres team. Thiago and Holland. So, did you own Thiago on Monday against West Ham? Don't really remember, but I watched the game. He looked really, really good. Should have had at least a brace against West Ham on Monday. I think that he is a really good option going forward. Grealish on the bench, Lewis Potter and Van Bissaka. What do you think of transferring in Gabriel? I think it's a bit of a risk. 6.4 million. I think he potentially will start. So Arsenal against Crystal Palace. The game is on Sunday, so he will have a bit of extra time to recover from his injury. So it's a really important game. It's a derby playing against Crystal Palace. So even though if he's not 100%, I think that if he's fit enough to play, he will probably do so. So Gabriel, but I think that Gabriel potentially can wait a game week, to be honest. Wouldn't take the risk on using a transfer on Gabriel this game week. The Infernal Avenger, thank you. No worries. Hopefully you will get a green arrow in game week 9. Dubravka, he actually saved in game week 8. So Burnley, hopefully they have a bit more confidence going forward. They kept a clean sheet in game week 8. So yeah, Dubravka, decent option for this game week. I did actually, yeah, it looked really threatening. Could actually have had a hat-trick in the game against West Ham. Alexander sends that kudos to Enzo. I think that Enzo is a really, really good option. He's actually one of the reasons why I have not transferred in Reece James. I want to keep a spot open, a Chelsea spot open for Enzo Fernandez in my team. So Enzo, a really good option, but Kudus, is Kudus a sell at the moment? Not really sure. James Pitts, thanks man, I appreciate all the insights. Have to go now. Good luck. So thanks for joining in, James. Best of luck for game week 9. And hopefully you will get a green arrow as well and have a nice weekend. It's 22 minutes left. I have made a transfer. This is actually not my team. But I think this team is good to go, to be honest. I got a question about Gabriel. So if you have Gabriel in your team, definitely start him. If you want to transfer Gabriel in, I would wait a game week. Obama, hello, my team is Dubravka, Rodon, Van de Ven, Diouf, Esteve, Njai, Salah, Foden, Bruno Fernandes, Richarlison, Holland, Verbruggen, Williams, Dewsbury Hall, and Mark Guhi. With 3 free transfers and 0.3, should I roll or not? Let's see. So one thing I don't really like about your team is the fact that you have NGI playing against Rodon. I'm in the same position, so this is one of the reasons why I decided to make a transfer this game week. I wouldn't like to have Rodon playing against NGI. So Salah, Phil Foden. with this team, I would definitely consider making a couple of transfers. Richarlison. 0.5 in the bank, so I would give Salah another game week, seeing that you have Mo Salah. The fixture is decent for Liverpool and Mo Salah this game week, so give Mo Salah another chance. Phil Foden, he would probably be my preferred transfer out this game week, to be honest. So I would consider something like Phil Foden to Enzo Fernandez, probably. Phil Foden to Enzo Fernandez and Nico Williams to Timber. Cover the Arsenal defense. Gabriel, he's probably the best option, but he's a bit more expensive and he is yellow flagged. He's a risk ahead of game week 9. So I think that if I were to transfer in an Arsenal defender this game week, it would be Timber. So Phil Foden to Enzo Fernandez, Nico Williams to Timber. Pressy Gamer, yo, how do you do live reviews? So if you're interested in having your team reviewed, head over to X. I have the same name, same handle on X as here on YouTube. It's at FPLTFS. So just take a screenshot of your team and post a picture under my latest post. So let's see if there are any new posts. Basically just head over to X, find my profile, look up this post called the Game Week 9 Deadline Stream and post a picture in the comments. So I got this tip from someone who was discussing live streams. He said that if you find the time, try to write some of your answers in the chat as well. I'm trying to be a bit better at this. Let's see how many times I actually have done this during the stream. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 times. 7 times in 1 hour. Probably not that bad. So Foden to Enzo Fernandez, Nico Williams to Timber. I think this is a really, really good upgrade. Enzo Fernandez back from injury, on penalties, on set pieces for Chelsea. Good fixture playing at home against Sunderland. Nico Williams and Nottingham Forest defense haven't really looked that great, so I think that he is a definite sell at the moment. Of course, they have a new manager at the moment, so it might be a bit better, but Nico Williams, I think that he is a sell. Timber to cover the Arsenal defense makes sense. There are a lot of teams with double Arsenal defense. Someone have even tripled up. So if Arsenal keep a clean sheet, this will really hurt your rank. So at least having one Arsenal defender makes sense at the moment. They are the best defensive teams, so yeah, I'd say go for it. Pressy Gamer 8811 just replied. Let's have a look. I need to refresh this. Let's have a look at your team. 16 minutes left until the deadline. We're getting really close. I made my transfer. I sold Fabian Schär to bring in De Ligt. Now it's a bit of a surprise bringing in a Man United defender, but De Ligt, he is actually one of the defenders with the best attacking stats. He has been really close to picking up defensive contributions. He has done it on 2 occasions, and he has gotten 9 on 3 occasions as well. So hopefully he can deliver going forward. So Pressdog, he posted his team. See, I think I have to do it like this to fit the whole team into the graphics. So this is Pressy Gamer 8811's team, Petrovic in goal, playing against Nottingham Forest. I think this is a good fixture for Bournemouth. I can see you have a double up in defense with Senesi, and you have Semenyo as well. So I think this triple up is really solid for game week 9. You have the double up on Arsenal defense. I just talked about it with 0-1. There are a lot of teams with double Arsenal defense. Timber and Gabriel, I think those two are the best defensive options from Arsenal. Phil Foden in midfield, Kudus, Saka up front, Joe Pedro, Foltmother, and Captain Erling Haaland. Guehi on the bench makes sense. Really tough fixture against Arsenal. Dewsbury Hall, Michele. I think this team definitely is good to go. I would probably, seeing that you already have Tennessee starting this game, spreading the risk a bit, taking a punt on Dubravka. You will still cover the Bournemouth if they keep a clean sheet. You will have Senesi, Semenyo will get an extra point as well. Having a differential in Dubravka, really good fixture for Burnley playing against Wolves, and they actually picked up a clean sheet in game week 8. So consider Petrovic, Dubravka, switch. But other than this team is definitely good to go. Saka, captaincy, have you considered it? I think that if I had Saka in my team at the moment, he would probably be my game week 9 captain. So if I do Phil Foden to Enzo and Nico Williams to Timber, I will be left with 1 free transfer and 0.7 in the bank. Sounds good. I think I would just save the last transfer, keeping the 0.7 in the bank. Normally, it would probably be even better to bring in Enzo and Gabriel. My only worry is that Gabriel, he might actually not play in game week 9, so I think that at the moment Timber is the safest option. Who would you replace Phil Foden for? So I got this exact question 5 minutes ago from Ovan in the chats, and I think at the moment that the best replacement at that price point is probably Enzo Fernandez. I think this is a good transfer for this team as well. Phil Foden to Enzo Fernandez. It kind of depends how many transfers you have. I wouldn't do it for hits, but if you have a free transfer, Phil Foden to Enzo Fernandez makes sense at the moment. Just need to plug in my charger. Give me a minute. Julio, thank you. Still waiting for you, thank you. Still waiting. So is there any questions that I didn't answer? Let's have a look. So if I do Foden to Enzo, Williams to Timber, I will be left with one transfer and 0.7. Yeah, do those moves. I think those moves are really great. Phil Foden to Enzo, Nico Williams to Timber. Just keep the 0.7 and the last free transfer. So we will have 2 free transfers heading into game week 10. So this is my team. I actually found out that I can edit the scrolling text at the bottom, so I will update my transfer confirmed. Okay, so need to do. So let's see. Really sorry. I need to scroll up to see your whole team. There we go. Richarlison, Holland up front. So with 0.7 with Richarlison, I think you probably just save the transfer, start Mark Guehi. He might actually start for Chelsea this game week, so put Richarlison on the bench, start Mark Guehi. He's rumored to start up front for Chelsea, and do Richarlison to Mateta next game week. This would probably be my preferred option, to be honest. So keep Richarlison one more week, do Richarlison to Mateta. Just start Guehi this game week. There are some rumors about Guehi starting up front as Chelsea's number 9, with João Pedro playing number 10. Ralph Sutton, hey TFS, is Gabriel a hold? Is it a serious injury? Is it Arteta mind games? Yeah, the rumors are that Gabriel actually will play. So at the moment, I think that he definitely is a hold. I wouldn't necessarily transfer Gabriel in this game week, but they have a really important game on Sunday, and I think that Gabriel probably will start. So at the moment, for me, Gabriel is don't sell, don't buy territory. And if you have Gabriel, I would definitely just start him. I think he will either start and play 90 minutes, or he will not play at all. Blanky, hey mates, hey, thanks for joining in. 6 minutes left until the deadline. Make sure to lock in your transfers, select your captains. So in the poll, Erling Haaland, he is the favorite. 81% for Haaland, 7 Saka, 11 Semenyo. So Saka would probably be my captain, to be honest. Jonathan, got inside information Gabriel will start. Not sure where you got that information, but I think it's probably correct. At least I think that he will start, play 90 minutes, or not play at all. The game is on Sunday. I think this is good for Gabriel. He will get an extra day of recovery. So yeah, I would definitely not sell Gabriel. So let's have a look. Blanky, starting 11, Sanchez in goal, Pedro Porro, Gabriel, and Senesi in midfield. Semenyo, Bruno Fernandes, Saka, Reinders, and Stach. Parent Haaland, Pedro bench, Dubravka, Munoz, Guhi, and Anderson. Any suggestions? 2 free transfers, 1.1. in the bank. So let's see. I really like this team. You have Bruno Fernandes, Saka. I'm not really a big Reinders fan at the moment, but with only 1 million in the bank, it's probably not that much you can do. 2 free transfers. It's probably the best option is probably just to save and have 3 free transfers heading into game week 10. Of course, there is an option to start Mark Guehi this game week. He's rumored to start for Chelsea up front with Joe Pedro as their number 10. So I would start Reinders. Stuck playing. I'm not really sure. West Ham, they did not look great on Monday against Brentford, so it's probably a good idea to just start your Leeds players, to be honest. So, yeah. Keep it as it is. Munoz on the bench against Arsenal makes sense. I think your team is good to go, Blanky. So I will start Timber, Diouf, and then bench Esteve and Rodon. Is that okay? Yeah, I think Diouf is a decent option. He was on the bench on Monday against Brentford for West Ham, but I definitely think that he will start. He came on in the second half and actually looked quite good. So yeah, that's okay. Thank you for today. Thanks for joining in. Really, really appreciated. Only for it's actually 3 minutes. 3 minutes left. So thanks all for joining in. If you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to the channel. I do weekly Q&As, usually the night before the deadline. So on Friday nights, I usually do a Q&A, but this game week, since it's a Friday deadline, my Q&A was yesterday. What do you make of Sean Dyche's appointment? Will he be the difference? I think it's a good appointment. We saw an immediate effect in Europe as well, beating Porto. So let's see how that game actually went. 2-0. It's kind of boring. I think it will be good for the Nottingham Forest defenders, but at the moment, I would just stay away, reassess, and wait a couple of game weeks before considering their assets. But I think it's really cool. Sean Dyche, I kind of like him. Has some really cool quotes as well. So Blanky, okay, thank you, sir. Good luck this game week. Best of luck for game week 9. Hopefully, you'll get a green arrow and have a nice, lovely weekend. I'm actually really excited ahead of the game. Later, we'll be watching the West Ham against Leeds picture. Well, it's actually Leeds against West Ham. Still have 2 minutes to change the captaincy to Gyökeres. Would you do Shalaba to Reece James and Gabriel to Calafiori for a -4? No, no. Keep Gabriel. I think he potentially will start. So just keep Gabriel. I have to admit, I have been a bit tempted to go against Erling Haaland this game week, but this will be my team. We locked in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So I ended up with Erling Haaland as my captain. Jonathan, he tried to talk me into Gyökeres. I was actually really tempted. I changed the captaincy to Gyökeres last night, but started this stream with Gyökeres as my captain. I have to admit, I will be a bit annoyed if Gyökeres does really well this game week, but kudos to Jonathan if this happens. So this will be my game week 9 team. My transfer this game week was Fabian Schär to De Ligt, so hopefully Man United can do well going forward. Thanks all for joining in. Hopefully you'll have a lovely weekend. If you haven't done so already, consider subscribing to the channel. So hopefully I'll see you next time. It will be most probably a Q&A the day before the game week 10 deadline. I can potentially set up another watch log during the weekend as well, but subscribe to the channel so you'll find out. But once again, thanks for watching and have a nice weekend. Right as I was going to log off BC. Greetings, brother. A bit late today. Thanks for joining in, B. So I'm actually on my way out. Too late to ask about Bruno captaincy. I think it's a bit too late for captaincy discussion. I'm afraid that the deadline has passed at the moment. I have actually discussed Bruno Fernandes, so some of the options that if I had him in my team, like Bukayo Saka, Bruno Fernandes, I would really consider giving them the captain's armband this game week. I was close to Captain Mbumo. I was close to giving the armband to Gyökeres as well, but they're like the second best option from Man United and Arsenal. But if I had Bruno or Saka, I probably wouldn't have Erling Haaland as my captain.